Right, so the time is upon us. It is finally time for Jake Paul and Mike Tyson to fight. It's been rescheduled, but the fight is going to be this Friday. But in England, I think the show starts at 1 a.m. on Saturday morning. I'm not sure what time the actual fight will be. It's going to be obviously in the early hours, 4 o'clock or something like that. But I am actually excited for this. I will be watching, and I know a lot of boxing purists and combat sports fans are like dead against this. Like, why is this even happening? But yeah, it's interesting. It's actually interesting. It's sad to see, Tyson getting used in this way, because he is getting used. It's his name that's on the line. Jake Paul's just bought Tyson, I think. But that is the world we live in. Tyson's up for it. Obviously, there's lots of press conferences and all that kind of stuff going off now. So I thought I'd just give my thoughts on it for what it's worth. So yeah, in terms of like people saying, this fight shouldn't be happening. What is good about these kind of freak show fights, and I say this every time there's like some mental fight, is the amount of eyes it brings to the sport. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. People paying to watch brings money and followers to the sport, whether it's a good fight, a bad fight, whether you like it or not. And as a coach, as a fighter myself, somebody who trains fighters, it's good because that it brings more money to the game, and that rolls down even to the lower levels of the sport. It brings more people into the sport. People are seeing it, and even though it's, like I say, a bit of a freak show, it does have generally a good effect on the business of fighting. And I'm all about being able to live as a fighter and a coach and able to make money. So in that respect, as a pure fan, I can see why people be like, why is this even happening? But as somebody who's involved, I'm involved as a fan, as a fighter, as a coach, as a manager, as a promoter. I've got all these different roles. So for me, I can see why it's happening. It's all about money. Yeah, I can see the positives that can come out of this. One big positive is obviously the opportunities that are given to other fighters. So you've got Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano having their rematch on the show. The first fight was one of the best, if not the best, female boxing fight ever, and they're going to do it again. So it's great for women's boxing and women's sport in that respect. Regardless of what you think of Jake Paul, he is doing good things. I actually like him. I actually really like Jake Paul. I love Mike Tyson as well. In terms of his fighting, I love the fighter Mike Tyson. A lot of stuff what he's done outside of the ring, not so much. Whereas I think Jake Paul, he's not the best fighter in the world, but he is doing things outside of the ring in terms of, he's promoting and stuff like that is good for the sport, and I think he is a good person. So, yeah, like I say, he's doing good things for women's sport. Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, all the people on the undercard, they'll be getting well paid. They'll be getting lots of eyes on them. And again, as a coach, as a manager, that's what I want. If I can get one of my guys on an undercard, earning loads of money, getting lots of eyeballs on him, these fans who are just there to watch the YouTuber Jake Paul fight some old guy, if you're on the undercard, you're getting all those eyeballs. So I think, I think it's good. It's a shame that obviously Mike's getting used in this respect, but again, he's up for it. He knows what he's signing up for. It's all part of the game. It's all business. So let's move on to the betting odds. So on the betting, Jake Paul is the heavy favourite. He is. I just checked on Betfair. Jake Paul was 4-7 odds on to win, and Mike Tyson was 5-2, the outsider. So in terms of betting odds, Jake Paul the heavy favourite. Now, something that I think about this. Think about the time we're living in. We're living in a time where, this generation that we're in, these are all the Jake Paul. They've grown up with Jake Paul. You know what I mean? Jake Paul's 27 years old now. So this generation have grown up seeing him on YouTube, following his story. I know he's been fighting MMA fighters and celebrities and stuff like that, but he's doing well in boxing, and people are following that. And I think that's reflected in the betting, because the people who are betting are the people who, it's young people now. They're going to be 21 to 35 years old probably, and they're part of this Jake Paul era, this generation. So I think lots of those people are betting. When you think about Mike Tyson, the man's nearly 60 years old. He's 58 years old. So I just think that generation of people, the people who are following Mike Tyson in his prime are in their 60s now. Obviously, there's a lot of people younger than that, but a lot of them are in their 60s. Are these people running to the bookies and rushing on to online bookies and putting bets on? I don't think they are. So I think that's why the odds are so skewed. I think that's what it is. I think it's a generational thing. We're in the Jake Paul generation, so that's why all these young lads are betting on him. Whereas the older generation, the Tyson generation, if you like, they're kind of out of the picture now. They might not be active in watching combat sports anymore, active in betting, especially online. So, that's my thought on the odds. I could be wrong. It could be a reflection of the real odds, but that's my view on the odds. And then obviously included in that, like I just said, you've got Jake Paul, 27 years old, Mike Tyson, 58 years old. So Mike's coming in here, he's at a massive disadvantage with his age. He's got the experience advantage, he's got 50 wins in the pro ring. And he's fought, a who's who. He's fought the best. He was a legit world champion, but he's 58 years old. This is the thing. This is what it all comes down to, is the age. Jake Paul's taller by a couple of inches. I think he's 6'1", Jake Paul. 6'1" or 6'2", similar build to me. He's younger. He's super athletic. I think he wrestled at college. He's one of them guys, Jake Paul, and I've said this before, he's one of them guys who, at school, he probably could have done any sport and he would have done well. He strikes me as one of them guys. He's training super hard. He's got all the best people around him. He's got unlimited time, unlimited money. Again, I've repeated this, I've said this before. So he's going to be good. He's going to be improving all the time. So he's got all these advantages, if you like. Youth, athleticism. But the thing he hasn't got is that experience. So it's can Mike's experience, even at his age, outweigh all those other things? And there's been a lot of talk about the power as well. If you see Tyson hitting pads with Rafael Cordeiro, he's really slinging them shots in. He's got a lot of power. And remember, Tyson did the exhibition fight with Roy Jones Jr. as well. He did 8 twos. He went the distance. It was a draw. I'm not sure exactly on the rules with that. I don't know if it was, I think there couldn't be a knockout or something like that. But Roy Jones afterwards said, wow, super powerful guy. But Roy Jones is an old guy and he took some of them shots. So it's like, are them shots going to affect a young, sort of hungry, athletic Jake Paul? I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit of a crazy situation. It's mad, literally anything could happen. And that's why I'm interested in watching this. And there's a lot of people say, oh no, it's definitely going to go one way, it's definitely going to go the other way. But I think it really is a sort of mad situation where anything could happen. Let's think about the rules as well. So again, when Mike fought, because when Mike had this exhibition fight, it was only about 3 years ago. So he has been in the ring. He did 8-2s. Now this fight is also 8-2s. And apparently that's Mike. Mike made that decision because I remember at the press conference, I've just watched a little bit where Jake was saying, we'll do 10 threes if you want. We'll do 12 threes if you want. Obviously, Jake's super fit. So Mike himself or Mike's team have put forward the 8-2s. I'm guessing because he's older, he can be more explosive over 2 minutes. Obviously, 3 minutes, obviously, you're going to lose some of that explosive power. So, yeah, the ball's in Mike's court for that part of the fight. The 14-ounce gloves, this is a weird one. I don't know who wanted the 14-ounce gloves. Maybe you guys know. So normally, professional boxing, if you're a heavyweight, is in 10-ounce gloves. This is going to be done in 14-ounce gloves. So it's a bit of a weird one, really. Like, usually when I spar, I'll spar in 16-ounce gloves. And if I'm fighting boxing rules, I'll box in 10s. You know, getting punched, you're still going to take the damage with a big glove. It does dull the effects a little bit. When he fought, when Tyson did the exhibition match, they had head guards on as well, and they had big gloves on. So this is obviously going to be no head guards, but 14-ounce gloves. Just a weird one. I don't know if Mike's put this forward or what. I'm guessing it's come from Mike's side, but yeah, I don't know if that changes much. I mean, getting it off Mike Tyson with a 14-ounce glove or a 10-ounce glove, I don't think it makes that much difference. But yeah, it's just a weird little part of the rules. So yeah, that's kind of all the ins and outs. There might be more stuff that I've missed there, but in terms of picking a winner, my prediction. And it's a sad prediction. I don't do this because I'm not saying that I want this to happen, but I think that Jake Paul will win the fight. I think that Jake Paul will win, and I think he could potentially stop Mike Tyson. Mike's old. He's nearly 60 years old. He has the power. Listen, Mike Tyson has the power to knock Jake Paul out. That's undeniable, yeah? But I think that if he gets caught... And Jake's been sparring with guys. I don't know who the guys have been sparring with. There could be anyone. But, you know, everyone's seen the clip where Jake Paul knocks his sparring partner down. You know, Jake Paul has got power. He's taller. He's got a long reach. Mike's got very good head movement. Can Mike move his head like that constantly for 8-2s against somebody who's super fit, young and athletic? I'm not sure. I think at some point he's going to take a few shots, and I think it might stumble him. And again, you're talking about, if you're a referee, you're refereeing a nearly 60-year-old man. If he's stumbling about the ring, the fight's going to get stopped. I don't think he'll get knocked out spark cold. I think Jake Paul might hurt him, stumble him a bit, and I think the referee might stop it. And that's my prediction, a Jake Paul win by stoppage. And it's not going to be pretty. Mike Tyson is, you know, the better boxer. He is a legend in terms of fighting ability. But I just think he's been paid. And he's game for it. I'm sure when I'm 60-year-old, I'll be fucking game to fight still. But he's been paid to have his name used to be added to the record of Jake Paul. And again, I won't be surprised if Tyson knocks him out. It could happen. But I'm saying, if you're betting your hard-earned cash, if I had to now put my house on it, I would have to put it on a Jake Paul win by stoppage. And I know that's going to upset a lot of people, and it upsets me a little bit. I don't want to see. I'm getting older now. I'm nearly 40. When I'm 50 and I'm fighting some younger guys, I want to still be winning. Yeah. If there is a fighting god up there, then maybe Tyson will pull it out of the bag. But I just think we live in the real world, and unfortunately, the younger, more athletic man is probably going to win. So there you go. That's my prediction. If you've got any other thoughts, any other things you want to tell me about the fight, your own predictions, please drop them below. Don't just say that I'm wrong. Tell me why you're right. Give me the details. Yeah, I want the nitty-gritty details. That's just my view on it. And yeah, we'll check back in after the fight. Maybe Jake Paul gets sparked out and everyone on here is laughing at me saying, what do you know about boxing? Anyway, we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much. Make sure you leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts.